and welcome to the Journey to CEO Success. I'm your co host, Melissa Saunders, and I'm joined today by Patrick Thean. He's an award winning serial entrepreneur, renowned COO coach, and best selling author recognized by the Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and Amazon. Patrick's latest book, The Journey to CEO Success, is a #1 Amazon bestseller and the inspiration behind this podcast. Patrick, it's great to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you, Melissa. It's awesome to be here.
And we're joined today by Julie Copeland. She's the CEO of Arbill, the largest women-owned safety provider in America. Since 2005, Julie has transformed the company into a full-service safety solutions leader, pioneering innovative programs and technologies that put workers first. Julie has been named one of Pennsylvania's best 50 women in business, one of Enterprising Women's top women entrepreneurs, and one of Real Leaders Magazine top 100 visionary leaders. Wow. And welcome, Julie.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Well, Julie, it's great to have you on our show. So thank you so much for making time for us. And you know, have known each other for a long time, actually more than 10 years now. I think we started working with each other 2014. So like I've known you 11 years, more than 10 years. It's awesome. So this podcast is really about helping CEOs find a more joyful and successful journey in their lives. And so I'd love to just start by you sharing a little bit about Arbill for a couple of minutes. Tell us a bit about, you know, what does Arbill do? And just tell us about Arbill. Take a couple of minutes.
So Arbill protects people in the industrial workplace. We make sure that employees get home safely every day to their families. And we do that with a pretty holistic approach. So we have PPE, which no one knew what that meant before COVID, but it's personal protective equipment. We make our own line of products called TrueLine, and we also distribute brands like 3M and DuPont and Honeywell and so on. We also have safety programs which take product and wrap a service around it. Think of prescriptive eyewear or AEDs, testing out electrical gloves. We have environmental health and safety training and consulting services, so we can come in and assess your business to help you on your path of building a world-class safety work environment or sustaining one. And the last area, which is a big growth area for us, is safety technology. So 4 areas of the business to deliver for our clients world-class safety work environments and protecting their most valuable asset, their employees.
Thank you. And tell us again, what is your mission? Like, what is the why behind Arbill?
No matter what your workplace looks like in terms of levels of danger or degrees of danger, we want to make sure you can perform your job to the fullest in the safest work environment we can help create.
Thank you. Now, you joined the company in 1995, correct?
97.
97. Okay, so way back.
Actually, you're right. 95 and 97, we moved here. So 95. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
So tell us about your journey. Tell us about your journey. I think this is your 3rd generation. So I think it was founded by your grandfather in 1945, right? So first, I would love to learn more about your journey. How did you start at the company, and were you always going to work at the company, or how did that come to be?
So I started more on the entrepreneurial side of things, working in a startup, data warehousing, before that was even a thing. We took content and paginated into catalogs and then into CD-ROMs and then onto the web. And my dad was looking for another marketing lead. He did catalogs himself, and we were producing the catalog for them. And he asked me to come on board and lead the marketing initiative for them. And through time of my own personal successes here in the business with marketing, and then I grew into some sales leadership and then running sales and running more of the business, I kind of went through every facet of the company until my dad tapped me and said, I would really like you to become the leader of the business. And now I am the third generation steward of this family business.
So did you always know that you're going to work in the business? Was it an expectation in the family?
It was not an expectation to necessarily come into the business. But I've been a business junkie kind of my whole life. Um, and I really leaned into it in college with my entrepreneurial spirit. What's great about that is I got to experience what my grandfather went through to do a startup. Doing a startup is a little bit different than coming into a business that was established. Although at times it feels like a startup here through the years. Um, but I really love the game of business. I always have. Probably more so my dad would tell you than he ever did. I came in and I really found it fun. Doing the solves every day was fun for me. And it's more fun now than ever.
That's great. So tell me why it's more fun now than ever. Tell me what's giving you the joy of being in this business. What fuels you? What inspires you?
So I've had this vision and I've had degrees of complication to be able to implement it fully. Um, but what I've wanted to do from the beginning, from the time I took over from my dad, is to truly create a business that protect people in the workplace. I felt as a woman, a mother, I didn't want to just have a business that moved product around. I wanted a business that did good in the world because I believed in myself that whatever I set my mind to, it would grow, it would do well. I had proof in previous endeavors. So I wanted to make sure whatever it was that I was doing would have the impact I was looking for. It's more joyful now in that I'm really able to realize that and continuously execute on it with new innovations we're bringing to market, and the impact those innovations are having in the workplace is really meaningful. And our clients are getting, our wins are larger and larger customers every day. And that's super rewarding that even they believe that a company that's smaller in nature compared to these Fortune 100 companies see Arbill as having such a meaningful impact on their safety impact really sources me. So the whole thing feels super, super exciting.
Yeah, for as long as I've known you, you've always been so excited about safety. And I remember the first time I was working with you, I made a mistake actually. And I said something like, oh, you guys make gloves, sell gloves. And you said, no, we provide safety. And I was like, but it's all gloves. And you said, no,
Yeah.
not all gloves. So it's I think there's something in you that really brings you a lot of joy to know that you are fulfilling the mission of protecting people, letting sons, daughters go home safe after a day of work every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really purpose driven. I'm told that over and over again. I wake up and I'm driven by a purpose to do good and have impact. And the rest falls into place. I believed it would, and I've been able to live it and realize it. We're able to attract great talent. We're able to attract people that want to be part of this mission. And we're attracting amazing customers. And we're attracting innovations, incubators out there that have a really great solution for impacting safety in the workplace. And if they pass our innovation lab that we have today to test it out, the sky's the limit. There's no end in sight to ensuring people can live their best lives thanks to being protected in their workplace. We've got to go to work.
Yeah.
America thrives because we go to work. We
Yes.
need to make stuff and we need to be protected.
So was this always the mission of Arbill, or did you actually bring this to Arbill, this mission of safety?
This was my goal of the business. My dad had safety, but he had other things as well. And when I took over the business, we pivoted to strictly protecting human life and expanding our offering as it relates to accomplishing that. And I love listening to the customers. I love looking at the data. Where are the near misses? What are the issues our clients are having? What's the risk that they have in front of them? And how do I mitigate it? And it's really led itself to some of the great innovations we brought to market.
We have a lot of friends and clients on our side that have taken over businesses from their parents and grandparents, just like you.
Yeah.
And one thing I've noticed is that some of them don't have a way of making the business their own, so they feel like they're just running dad's business.
Mm.
My theory is that because you are so purpose driven, and the safety thing mission is part of the formula of how you've been able to joyfully take on the business and pretty much make it something that you are highly invested in. I would say it's your business. You've made it your business. And I think that I'm curious as to your thoughts on this, because I think some of my friends maybe have a bit of guilt trying to make the dad's business their business, when I think actually, no, you should embrace it. You should make it your business. That's what that's what your dad probably wants for you. And frankly, I think it's the only way for them to truly fall in love with the business and make it their own. Is that what you've experienced? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think as a student, when I first came in, I very much was a player inside of my dad's aura of what he envisioned and what he was creating. And then once the baton was passed, and we actually have a picture of when that happens and literally passing the baton, at first, out of respect for his team and sort of leading his team, I still led his company. And it wasn't until friction or crisis where I was able to say, I don't think what got us here is going to get us there. And
Yes.
that's when I really was able to take this vision that I've had and this purpose I've always had to say, okay, I can really take this on now. Now, I do lead a family business, and inside of that, it has degrees of complications that I had to overcome. So I couldn't fast track my vision for it in the way that I can today. And so that's why I keep coming back to it. Just feels really exciting now with being able to bring innovations to the market, being guided by this purpose that we have is bringing so many new things together for us to really impact the safety records that are out there. And we hope to break this barrier that many organizations haven't been able to fully mitigate in the way that they could today.
Yeah. My new book talks about 7 key practices. And the first key practice is being curious. And the second key practice is, I call it leveling up. And leveling up is about, taking your skills up a notch, right? Like what you said, sometimes stuff that got us here can't get us to the next place. And I've always been very impressed with your curiosity and your desire to learn. And I've got a quick story that I wanted just to share with everyone. Years ago, we were having some fun, and I said, "Hey, I'm not going to come and do a session for you unless you became a Uber driver and picked me up in your Tesla at the airport when I arrived in Philadelphia." And you shocked me when you said, "Well, Patrick, I am a Tesla driver, and I can pick you up in my. I mean, I am an Uber driver, and I can pick you up my Tesla." And I was shocked, but then you went and shared with me that you did that because you wanted to learn the process. You wanted to see what Uber was doing, and you just wanted to learn. And I was so impressed, and I continue to be impressed by your desire to be curious and to learn and to bring that into the company. So share a little bit about your thinking about being curious and learning.
Yeah. I can't believe you shared that story. I'm not an Uber driver anymore, so I can't pick people up, but I did enjoy learning the tech. I was so curious how it worked on the back end. And the driver behind the reason for why I did that is we have this EH&S platform where we have specialists across the country that we can put inside of workplaces, whether you need to have staff augmentation for EH&S because you need more talent than what you have there today, or you need to have new set of eyes, analyze your workplace. But I have many EH&S professionals as part of Arbill's framework, and I wanted to sort out how to technologically know where they were, when they would be available, and that's why I was so enamored by that tech. It goes further with my tech fascination, and I mentioned one of the growing areas for Arbill is on the tech side, because it is the thing now that can help create safer workplaces. So we've been bringing to market a whole new type of PPE vending, which is all tech driven, fully optimized with a whole sustainability component to it. There's no packaging, but the tech is remarkable. So you can really see outliers as it relates to PPE protection. And we're now bringing to market a technology to protect pedestrians in workplace that run the risk of being hit by forklifts. As you can imagine, there's more and more distribution buildings, warehouses across the United States than ever before. And so forklift injuries are on the rise, not just for the pedestrian that's always one, but a driver can become a pedestrian. They step off their forklift, they go act and function like a pedestrian, and both of them are getting hit by forklifts. And we've come up with a technology that can help alert the pedestrian so they can get out of the way. So things like this are just incredibly exciting for us to really change the numbers. There's 7,000 injuries a year right now in the US, and we want that number to go to zero.
Wow. Wow.
So that's why I love tech.
Yeah.
That's why
But you stay curious even till today. You're still you stay curious, and I think the curiosity really fuels your learning, and that fuels your innovation.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you continue to remain curious in a job, in a work, in a company that you've been part of now for so many years? How do you renew yourself?
Well, a few ways, I suppose. One is we are tied in now to some innovation labs, so we can look at incubation of new safety things. So first we look at the data to say what's still the problem out there and how do I solve it. So working with students, with universities, that's been super exciting for us to stay fresh. I really enjoy working with my own R&D team. And then I'm a reader. I've, of course, read all your books, but I'm always reading all different types of books, depending upon, right now I'm hot on AI, so I'm trying to read up on what's the impact that it will have both operationally for the business, and then how do I play it into, of course, how will AI impact the reduction of injuries in the workplace. But I'm curious about where the world's going and what will come as AI really comes on strong. I mean, the world is changing at a pace. We used to say when the web came, wow, we're changing fast.
Yes.
I think we're going to change at record speed beyond anything we've ever seen before.
So you're jumping in head first into AI. You're learning as fast as you can, and then I know you're going to play with it. What are you doing to play with it right now?
Mostly around data, finding that outlier, right? What's the best way to find the outliers? Because in there's the opportunities, right? The core is handled, the trends are there. What's the new trends that are going to show up so we can work to identify it? So really just leveraging how well it can help you see the outliers in the data in sort of record speed that I haven't been able to see before. I've had a gut, I've had a feeling about it, but now AI can help me crunch disparate information, aggregate it today in ways I was never able to pull together, even though I knew if I could, I'd be able to see patterns. Now I can see patterns and then identify ways to solve for it.
That's great. That's great. So changing topics on you real quick, like
Yeah.
if I could put you in a time machine and send you back, 10, 15 years, right, to the middle of your career, what advice would you give yourself? So not all the way to the beginning, but based on all the knowledge you have today, what advice would you give the younger version of yourself?
I figured out something at that time. It's sort of a cute story. And I continue to hone it and get better and better. If I knew then how critical it would be, maybe I would have really worked on it harder than I did at the time. But in 2008, 9, I'm going to pick that sort of landmark time.
Yes.
It was a crisis here in the United States. We were laying off villages of people because of the financial crisis that was happening. And I, as a woman leader, as a woman, I was pregnant with my third child. And it was a really, really difficult time for Arbill. It was a difficult time for the United States. And here I have this little baby growing inside of me. And I felt very upset about everything that was happening. And it was that moment that I realized if I don't really work to find the balance in this situation and find the good in it and find gratitude quickly, I will have a sick child. I was sort of convinced of my mental affects my physical, and I'm now caretaking for someone else, and I better get it together. And I better balance the negativity that's happening with positivity. And if I don't quickly find a balance, I'll have a sick child. And that taught me a lesson that I lean into when I kind of can lose the balance. Things can get dicey, where I try and come back to what is the lesson in this? Why is this happening? What's the opportunity in it? And how do I come out of this negative place back into something that's positive? Why is this door closed? What next door will open? And living in a world of gratitude inside of friction.
Gotcha. Wow. Julie, that's insightful. Thank you. Thank you. So, I can talk to you forever. However, I'm going to ask you my last question. It's my signature question I ask all our guests. This podcast is really designed to help CEOs who have a very stressful life find both joy and success together. Because I think too often, sometimes I see my friends sacrifice joy for success. And I kind of think that the phrase, we've all heard it, right? Can't have your cake and eat it. I'm like, that sounds dumb to me. I want my cake and I want to eat it too. So I want my friends to have success and joy at the same time. So what advice would you like to leave with our audience to have a more joyful and successful life?
Well, I don't sit here saying I figured all this out, but I have said that joy and excitement is something that I want to really focus to grow in my life. But where I come from to get there is a place that I've always held on to, that I'll pass on to your audience, which is I've had this belief that if I believe in it, that I believe that those things should happen, joy and excitement, then I'll never stop to get there. And just the pursuit of it, of never giving up, is the same thing I've applied to sort of all parts of my life. And even when a wall is thrown up in front of me, or I am flanked from the side unexpectedly, if I believe that's where I should go, then I'll never give up, and I will find a key, a window, a door. I will find another way until I can get there.
Thank you.
Thank
you, Julie.
Thank you. So fun to see you and be with you.
Melissa, back to you.
Yeah, I love that. Just go and kick down that door if it calls for it, huh, Julie? Thank you. I think our audience is really going to love this story. And thank you, Patrick, for being here today as well. And until next time, go out there, enjoy this journey, be filled with gratitude. Bye now.